Okay, so we need 2 packages of this pasta, like a dry pasta. I'm using 2 different shapes, but you can use 2 of the same, or this recipe calls for two packages of dry pasta of 7 ounces. Okay, so I'm going to use 4 tomatoes. We're going to remove this part because sometimes it gets a little bitter. So let's just prevent that and just removing it. Then we cut it in 4 pieces. I like to cut it in 4 pieces, and then we're going to blend it. Okay, so we're going to blend it with so we're going to need tomatoes, and we're going to need a little piece of onion. Okay, this was a small onion, so it's like a 1/3 of a small onion. Okay, 1 big clove, garlic clove, and another medium one, and this 2 little. So either 2 big ones or 2 little ones. Okay, 2 big ones or 3 medium ones. Let's just go ahead and remove this so we can finish cutting it and putting it in the blender. So my grandchildren and my children like that sopita. That's Mexican style sopa, okay, soup. And we're going to use 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, some Mexican squash, cut it in cubes, or already have it diced, and some oil. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever oil. We're not going to use too much, okay? So we already have the tomatoes in the blender, and we're going to add some water just to blend them. Maybe like 1/2 cup of water. I'm going to use 1 full cup. So 1 full cup of water to blend. Okay, let me go ahead and blend it and come back. All right, now we have some oil in the pot, okay, because we're going to fry the pasta. So let's go ahead and turn the fire on. Okay, and let's wait for the oil to warm up a little bit. And in the meantime, we're going to have some water boiling as well. Okay, let's boil some water, and we're going to have our sopita ready. The bag's open, and then we're going to need a spoon just to move it while we fry it. Okay, and so okay, so we're just gonna wait for our oil to warm up, and we're going to fry the sopita. My grandchildren and my children love the sopita. Cold days like today, winter days, but actually in Mexico we eat sopa aguada. How we call it, like like liquidy soap, more like with broth and stuff. So we eat it all year round. It's part of our, let's say not culture, but part of our um, menu. Every house in Mexico, at least in the area where I was born, um, we eat sopita. Okay, so let's check that our oil is ready, warm enough, hot enough. You see how it's bubbling around the little shell. I sent a little bubbling. All right, so that means it's ready. I'm gonna take this out because I don't want it to look all burnt when I put the other ones. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out. I'll put it with the on the side, and then I send both. Our water is already warm. Let's turn it off. Let's stir. Don't make it so we're making sure that it doesn't burn. If the fire is too high, we can just go to medium low and stir the sopita. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that, and now we'll come back and show you guys how it looks, how it should look before putting the tomato and the rest of the stuff. Okay. I think the fire was too high and it was kind of burning, so I'm gonna just be careful and keep stirring it. Okay. All right. Okay. So when it's looking like this, I'm gonna turn the fire off, and I'm gonna keep moving it because the pot's still hot in the bottom, and there's still heat um, going through. So I'm gonna just keep stirring. And the reason that I turn the fire off is because I'm a little lazy to clean the kitchen. So the less mess I make, the better for me. The less I have to clean. So I turn the fire off and and wait for the oil in the pot to get just a little colder. So when I add the tomato soup or the tomato sauce, I'm sorry, the tomato sauce that we made with the tomatoes, the onion, and the garlic, it doesn't jump all over the place and it makes a big mess. Okay, so it's almost done. We'll be back. All right, so our sopa is going to look like this. It's not too burn, not too brown. So what I did, I already removed some of extra oil because we don't want it too greasy. So we're going to return it and going to use the same colander to add the tomato sauce. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and nice and not too hot, not too cold. I can hear some noise, so go ahead and add the tomato. And you know that sound? It's a nice sound, but when it's too hot, it's going to sound more, the sizzling sound is going to be more, and then all the sauce is going to be jumping around, and all the oils and stuff are going to be, like getting on your furnitures and stuff. So less cleaning if you just be a little patient and you just lower the fire, and yep, that's what it is. So let's go ahead and continue putting this. The reason that I pass it through the colander is because I don't really like to feel in my mouth the skin of the tomatoes too much. So we're not going to lose anything because we're going to make all the get all the good stuff from this, okay, from the sauce. So let's go ahead and just do it my style. Okay, that was my mom's style as well. Anyway, so let's just keep going. If we think that's too much, that we can lose some of the tomato, don't be afraid. We're not. We're just going to let some of the fiber out, because you see these little pieces of skin and seeds. I don't really like to taste them. So that's why I use the colander. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got it. I'm gonna put it back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of, what's it called? Water. And shake it so we can get all the, more stuff from here. Okay, so like a little rinse of the blender. Just a little bit. And then we pass it through the colander again. It might sound like it's a lot of steps, but at the end of the day, it's going to be tastier. So you don't have to taste all the little pieces, the little tomato skins and the seeds. Okay. All right. So I think we got all we needed from there, from the sauce. All right. Perfect. Got it. All right. Just go ahead and move all this from here. Just go ahead and move it. And now we're going to add our chicken bouillon. Just 1 teaspoon. We don't need too much. If you have chicken broth, you can use chicken broth. Chicken bouillon is good. And we're going to start with 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we go from there. We can taste and see if we need more. And you can add more. But always start from low. Okay, so let's start with 1 teaspoon of salt. And just season this, like, let it like simmer a little bit. And then we're going to add our warm hot water. Okay, so just stir a little bit. I'm sorry, but I got a little couple of the soups got a little burn. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and try, see if we need more salt or we need something else. Okay, let me go ahead and try it. Yes, probably need another teaspoon of salt. A generous teaspoon of salt. Okay, there you go. Alright. The reason is that we're going to need a little bit of salt is because when we add the vegetables, the vegetables are going to absorb some of the salt as well and kind of neutralize the flavors or the content of salt. But if you have high blood pressure or you can't consume any salt or sodium, just add a little bit, just like just to break the not to break, but to, all right. Sorry, I forgot to remove the spoon, and it got a little hot. Okay, so have to be careful, and then we're going to add water. If you want to measure it, we can measure it. Let's start with 2 cups of water, warm water. We're going to start with 2 cups of water, warm water. Okay, and then let it boil a little bit. And definitely we're going to need more than 2 cups. It's probably going to be like close to 2 liters maybe for 2 bags of sopa. And let's go ahead and clean this up. let it boil a little bit, you know, to season it. The more you let it season and you know, the better taste you'll have. Okay, it'll result. Let's try it. Taste it. Okay, good. Good. It has enough salt and it has enough good flavor. So let's go ahead and add more water. 2 more. And definitely we're going to need more than 2, more than 4. Okay, so let's let it boil a little bit with that water, okay? All right, we'll be back. All right, it's time to add some more water. It already passed like 2 minutes. Let's add more. So there is 4, 2, 3, 4, plus 4 that we added before. It's 8, and 1 more. It's 9. Okay, so 9 cups of water. Nine cups of water. We're going to add a total of 10 cups of water for 2 bags of sopita. Okay, we stir it a little bit and we're going to let it boil for about 3 minutes. Okay, we'll be back. All right, see, we're going to let it boil. I think I'm going to bring the fire a little bit higher so it boils a little faster. Okay, well, let's wait for it to start boiling. All right, we'll see how is the start to boiling. Okay, I'm not going to move it so you guys can see the little bubbles. That is when it starts boiling. We Mexican moms, sometimes we tell our children, hey, avísame cuando la olla esté hirviendo. And some of our children don't know what does that mean, right? So we just let me know when the food starts boiling. But some of our children don't really know what's boiling, because I went through that. So this is, okay, what is start boiling. So you see the bubbles right there? So it's starting boiling, okay? I'm going to stir it a little bit, just a little, like this, okay? And let it be for another 5 minutes. All right, so now it is boiling. It is boiling nice and steady, okay? Look at this. All right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lower the flame, like medium low, okay? And let the pasta cook for maybe 10 minutes. But in about 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to add the zucchini, okay? So we're going to make it a little healthier with some zucchini, okay? So at least we have some vegetables in our sopita, right? Okay, so I'll come back in another 2 minutes. 2 minutes passed and it keeps boiling nice and easy. Okay, look, pasta's almost ready. So we're going to add the calabacitas. Okay, I don't want to burn myself, so I'm going to use the spoon. You can see if I just damp it, it's going to split. It's going to splash. Splash, splash. I don't want it to splash. Okay, I'm gonna do it nice and easy so I don't splash and don't want to burn myself or make the stuff dirty. You know that I don't like cleaning. Okay, so we're going to add. This is 3 regular size Mexican squash, 3 regular size calabacitas. So we're going to add them all. There you go. And I'm going to add 1 more cup of water, hot water, and let it be for another 5 minutes. Okay, be back. All right, so it is boiling now with the calabacitas inside. At this time, we're going to bring the fire to low, lower than low, okay? And we're gonna cover it. We're going to cover the pot, okay? It is boiling, we're gonna cover the pot. Close the valve and wait for another 2 minutes and we'll be done. We'll be back. All right, now it's boiling rapidly, okay? And we don't want the calabacitas to be too soft. We don't want them too hard. We don't want them too soft either, okay? So you can add any vegetables you want. I have calabacitas, so I'm going to use them and not let them go to waste, okay? So, but you can use any other vegetable you have. You can use chayotes, you can use potatoes. Sometimes potatoes in little cubes with the pasta is like carbs on carbs, but the chayote squash will be good. The calabacitas or Italian or Mexican squash. You can use peas. You can use peas. I'm sorry. You can use carrots, or you can use the frozen ones from the freezer at the store. Okay. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to cover it, close the valve. If you don't have a valve, don't worry about it. Just cover it and turn the fire off, and we're done. We're just going to let it sit for another 10 minutes like that and ready to serve.